Hello folks, and it's time for some more hobby nightmares. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. We are 10 days away from Exile Fest. Just 10 days away. That is terrifying. But anyway, we have a huge event coming to Liverpool on the 21st of June 2025. It is a tournament, a Warhammer 40,000 Grimdark Future one-page rules tournament. If you want to watch that tournament with me, because I will be there, not playing, but I will be there, chilling out, come on down to the store. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Just Play Games is an amazing space. We have the entire upstairs floor booked up for ourselves. We're going to be there having fun, rolling dice, cheering people on, and handing out prizes there all day on Saturday the 21st of June. Then we're going into town for a bit of a night out, a few drinks. We're going to set the world to right and generally make sure everyone's doing okay. It's going to be an awesome day, so make sure if you can, if you're in the UK or even if you're outside the UK, head on down. You don't need your army. All you need to do is email me at northernexileevents@gmail.com. That is northernexileevents@gmail.com, and just let me know you're coming. Just so I've got a brief preview of how many people are going to be there. But if you just want to turn up on the day, you can also do that as well. If you're a bit shy, you don't want to email me, turn up on the day. You don't need your army. You can just stand around and have a little chat with me, and we can have some fun. So that's Exile Fest on 21st of June 2025. We're nearly there, folks. We are nearly there. So, it is Hobby Nightmares time, and we are going to be going on with Bo, who I think, if I remember correctly, Bo was the guy who got his mother into 40k, or into Kill Team, and his mother then roundly started beating him like a drum, and he regretted it ever since. Let's get a bit of a sequel, shall we, with Bo, and he says, "Greetings and commiserations, O banished wise man of the north. It is I, your friendly neighbouring war criminal Bo, writing to you from the boiling blister under Europe's left armpit, the Balkans. Feel free to indulge in whatever refreshments you have on hand as you read this somewhat short email. In recent days, I've had some odd developments that lead me to conclude that in fact, yes, the road to hell, especially my own personal one, was paved with the best of intentions. I have reached this conclusion in the last month, as my little old mother has as my little old mother has gone from a Kill Team enjoyer to a full-on, full-time wargamer. Good for her, man. Good for her. In recent days, she expressed an interest in playing with the, and I quote, the other pretty soldiers and vehicles you have on your shelf, unquote. And I have indulged her. So, I, having no sense of foreshadowing and clearly no capacity for thought, showed her initially a combat patrol-sized game. Luckily, when I was getting back into 40k at the start of 10th edition, I had the sense to buy the Leviathan box set. So, I had a Tyranids patrol lying around, just collecting dust. In that moment, I figured I would build up from the 500-ish point game slowly. Slowly, my sizable rotund fellow. I'm not rotund, actually. I've lost 3 stone recently, so yeah. Anyway, I used to be, though. Dude, I just thought of this. I know you said that there. It just reminded me. I had a thing pop up on my phone about the last year. And this time last year, I was nearly 19 stone, right? What is that in kilograms? 19 stone in kilograms, right? That is 120 kilograms I was, right? What's that in pounds? What's that in American? I was 266 pounds. Guys, I'm 6'1". I should not be 266 pounds, all right? I weighed myself this morning. I'm 16.5. Which is a lot better. What's 16.5? What's 16.5 in pounds? 231. So I've lost a good 35 pounds, right? I need more to go, but, packing on some muscle as well. So that's I've noticed my weight loss is slowing down because the muscle being packed on. But muscle takes up a lot less space than fat. So you're still getting smaller, even though your weight isn't getting smaller. But anyway, it's been going well. So, yes. You probably have seen a picture of me when I was a bit more rotund than I am now. But anyway, within a week of that, we were playing full 2,000 point sized games, and she was winning about half the time. That's ideal, dude, isn't it? A win for a win trade-off? That's pretty cool. To top it all off, much as with Kill Team, she now asks me to play either a big game or a game of Kill Team almost daily. Oh my god, yeah, that's hell. Yeah, I love 40k, man, and I can't play a game a day. Screw that. This has meant that I have to basically collect a reasonably competent Tyranid army and paint them in about a week for her. When I say I will most likely never financially recover from this, I'm not exaggerating. I'm thinking of like the Tiger King meme. I will never financially recover from this. Like this is... On a lighter note, I've recently installed shelving in my room to display my armies. This, though, has become my cockatiel's new favourite place to spend time, and being the good boy that he is, sharing his space is not a thing he's prepared to do. So, once or twice a day, I've been going to pick up all of my infantry models as the little bugger laughs at me from inside his fully open cage. Warm regards and best wishes to you and yours, Bo. Well, dude, this is a problem of your own creation, but at the same time, I will say it's a good problem to have. You've got an opponent there. Iron sharpens iron. Remember that, right? It means the more games you play with your mother in terms of 40k, if she's winning half the time, you're getting better. And you're learning the rules better as well. But the thing is, honesty is also the best policy, okay? Take her to the local game store, not Games Workshop. Take her to the local game store and show her the plethora of models that are on display for the army that she likes. She will probably buy one or two, right? Then introduce her to gaming in the store. Yeah, when you do your games, do them in the store. That way she meets other people, she gets more opponents, and the load is taken off of you, both financially and, you know, in being a constant opponent for her, right? She spreads her wings a little bit. If she wants to be a wargamer, dude, then make her a wargamer. That's how you get out of this. You lean into it. You've unironically done an amazing job of recruiting your own mother into the hobby. So lean into it. Recruit her. Yeah? That's what I do anyway. It takes the pressure off of you, you know? Anyway. It is time to move on to our next hobby nightmare. There is a car involved in this one. It is from Eddie. How's it going, man? He says, "Greetings, North. I've been listening to your hobby nightmares and rants for the last 2 years. I do agree with your comment in a previous video that you have noticeably mellowed as you have progressed as a presenter." Yeah, I think so as well, man. I think so as well. Like, when I was... People think I'm really ranty now. I'm like, dude, were you around back in the day? Like, 2021, I was furious. I was furious. I was absolutely... Like... I will admit that we're still growing as a channel reasonably well, right? But back then, we were growing meteorically because I was so angry. And that would court controversy. And the more controversy you court, the more people are interested in what you have to say. Do you know what I mean? That's not gone anywhere. We're still growing, you know? But we're not growing in it like a meteor upwards, you know, that kind of a thing. But I'm far happier now. So that's a trade-off, right? I'm far happier. It's kind of like listening to the Nine Inch Nails when they stopped taking drugs, you know? It's still good music and you're happy for them, but it's not selling as well as the deranged stuff back in the day when they were on drugs. Same as Tool, right? Tool, exactly the same as a band, you know? The new stuff doesn't sell as well because the old stuff, you know, really did well because they were on drugs most of the time. Anyway, I wasn't on drugs, by the way. You know, I'm just really, really angry. I was on a drug called Fury. Anyway, I still get furious every now and again, I will say that. Now on to my hobby nightmare. You can call me Eddie. I waited until everything with this event concluded before submitting it to you. Okay. I am a historical reenactor and got into playing bolt action after getting fed up with the Games Workshop nonsense whilst trying to get into wargaming. There wasn't really a bolt action community near me, so, taking the advice of Uncle Tom, Tabletop Minions, Uncle Atom, sorry, Tabletop Minions, I became... Sorry, that's my autocorrect fault. When I pasted this into my reading document. It went from Uncle Atom to Uncle Tom, as you do. So, taking the advice of Uncle Tom, Tabletop Minions, I became a hobby advocate by purchasing some of my reenactor friends an initial box of minis. A minor investment that was really worth the return. We now have a small group of dedicated modelers and gamers. 3 of us even made the 2-hour drive up to Milwaukee for ADEPTICON 2025. And this is where our tale truly begins. We live in your old stomping grounds of suburban Chicago. My friends Manny and Rob piled into my car for the 2-hour trip that Saturday morning. It was a couple of days after my birthday, and I was considering the trip as a belated birthday present and a belated party to be with good friends, as I had to work on my actual birthday earlier in the week. As we drove up, I had offered them one of the cans of soda I had in the back seat, a Diet Cherry Vanilla Pepsi. Why is that so specific? They were startled when they took their first sips, but I maintain it was their own fault for not reading the label before opening. Tea break here. Alright, thank you. I don't know, is that going to come up again? That's a weird detail to just remember. By the way, what suburb are you in Chicago? I was in Winnetka when I was there. Moving on. The car was parked in a lot just a couple of blocks from the Baird Convention Center. I accidentally bottomed out on a bump I miscalculated but saw no damage to my car. So we did our shopping, played some games, and got to talk with the owners of Goblin Hobbies about expanding their product line to include historical themed products. Brent and Casey over there are such nice people. Rob and I also bought some basic paints, so Manny had no excuse not to paint his models. At the end of the day, we tracked down Manny, who has a habit of just, sodding off for long periods, and walked back through the chilly evening to the lot where we parked my car. By the way, he didn't use the word sodding off there, I'm changing it because, obviously YouTube. And walked back through the chilly evening to the lot where we parked my car. As we rounded the corner to the lot, I couldn't see the bright blue of my car, and proceeded to do the whole, "Dude, where's my car?" After calling various tow yards and talking to the quite stoned and useless lot attendant, we called the police to file a report. Standing in the cold, damp wind for the cruiser, Manny and I sheltered from the wind by a cargo van that had taken my space after the car had vanished, and I knew exactly which spot it was because of that nasty bump. I've got to tie up that Chekhov's gun from the start of the day. Oh, there you go. The owner saw us, but apparently not the police sitting in their cruiser filling out the report, and proceeded to yell at us for being by his vehicle. Totally charming, i.e. a deranged individual, we tried asking if he maybe saw anything, but he launched into a long tirade, having assumed we were accusing him of felony ground theft Hyundai. To close this plot point, no, the police didn't intervene, but the senior officer kept an eye on us in case the guy did anything. Meanwhile, Rob called his wife, Kat, to drive up to retrieve us. We sat for a couple of hours in the convention centre until she was able to drive up. We shared the saga with a couple of friends over the phone on our way back, laughing at a laugh or cry situation. Manny was jokingly saying the reason my car was stolen was because the crooks were really wanting that blasted Diet Cherry Vanilla Pepsi in the back seat. Hey! Full circle. Full circle, man. I love it. Awesome. Brilliant. Manny and Rob are both reenactor unit commanders, one portraying the Soviets and the other Germans. Yeah, you renamed those, didn't you? They both agreed the two units needed to bestow badges to commemorate the incident. I am now allowed to wear both the German Bronze Anti-Bandit and the Soviet Arctic Defense badges when reenacting. I'm the only person from either unit to be authorized either badge. Rob has said I'm only allowed the bronze badge and can't upgrade to silver until I've had 3 vehicles stolen from me. I don't really want the silver badge. A couple of days later, I got a call that my car was found with some damage and taken to the municipal tow yard. It was found only a couple of blocks away in the opposite direction from the convention centre. After more than a month, the car is finally out of the shop and at home. I'll throw in a picture of the damage that it incurred. The remaining cans of soda were still there, unmolested in the back seat, as was Manny's own car that he had left behind, so he wouldn't accidentally lose it in the convention centre. His own car? He left his car inside your car? What? Just this past weekend, we were playing at Rob's house and he presented me with a mini diorama replicating me sitting there forlorn. He made it from a spare vehicle rider and named it, "Dude, where's my Kubelwagen?" We might be using it as an objective marker in future games. I requested he print me a Kubelwagen to complete the gag and another objective marker. I'll be painting it up to match my car, and put it up on blocks. Yours, Eddie. And he sent some pictures. So, we've got to have a little look at these. This is awesome. All right, what do we have here? All right, this is Dude, Where's My Car? This is almost British style humour, man. The way it's gone, look, the tyre tracks. And that's brilliant. If you're only listening to me, pull over the car and look at this. This is so funny. Like, it's so forlorn. So, like, this, it's the same kind of, humour. Nasty British humour, right? So, me and my missus were on the bus the other day. It's coming home from town because we elected not to use the car because, you know, we're idiots. So we're on the upstairs of the bus going home, and it's quite a hot day. And I'm looking out the window, and I see this kid walking with his mum and his sister, right? And they're both there, like licking their ice cream, right, as they're walking down the road. And he's like trying to trip his sister up, you know, like just being a little shit, basically. Anyway, as he's walking along, his ice cream falls out onto the floor and plops there. And he doesn't cry or anything. He's like 8. And I just like point out the window and I just start laughing at him. Now he can't hear me, right? Because my missus is like, what are you laughing at? And it's literally one of those like, ah, ha, 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 ah, ha, 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 ah, like one of them laughs. And she just like, what are you laughing at? And she looks out and goes, you're fucking evil. And I was like, yeah, well, you know, it was funny. I'm sorry, it was funny. And it, you know, this is the kind of humour that we're looking at here. Like when your friends do this kind of thing to you, and they're like, yeah, look at Johnny sitting on his little seat. No car for you. Yeah, that kind of a thing. Yeah, I know I'm a piece of shit, but there you go. It is what it is. And you have an image of your car here as well. Let's have a little look-see. Oh my god, that is quite damaged. Look at that. So who stole it? Do you know? Do they know who stole it? Like, what the hell? Damn. Why steal it? If not going to sell it or do anything with it, why steal it? I don't understand. Am I being very British? Are the people from Chicago going, ugh, god, dude, you know. So they hot-wired your car. Wow, look at this. Don't steal cars, kids. Look at... Dude, clean your car. First and foremost, you dirty bastard. Get some Febreze in there, and you know, and some varnish, and clean that shit. My god, you can't pick up the ladies and that. Dearie me. I'm gonna leave that up in shame. I'm gonna leave that up there. Yep, clean your car, Eddie. Clean it. Anyway. Let's head over to... Are we using another name for you? I don't think we are, because if you did, it is lines into your Hobby Nightmare, which means I'm using your real name. It's Stefano, folks. And he says, hi, North. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, second line. And on here. Sorry, Stefano. Didn't catch it in time. That's my fault. That's my fault, dude. Sorry. If this is too close to the quick, I will re-record it. Or I will blot out what I said there. But if I find it's not, it's just fine, then I won't bother. Anyway, he says, hi North, Anon here. I'm writing to you regarding my first Hobby Nightmare. I'm going by Anon, as all of the people in the story shall remain Anon too. I've officially had my first Hobby Nightmare with 40k. Well, if you don't name the other people, then we're alright. We're okay. Yeah, it would only make sense for you to be anonymous if they were using their real names, and if they're not, then no one's going to know who they are anyway, so who cares. Today was me against a Sisters of Battle player, and she was a very lovely person, and she was very good at the game. Alrighty. The problem was everybody else in the store. What was supposed to be me versus her in a chilled 2,000 point game turned into me versus her and 5 guys coaching her to victory. Everything that happened here is not an exaggeration or an alteration of current events. While I was taking all of my units out of my carry case, she rolled up, as you do, and I gave her hello. While we were setting the board up, some really weird dude came out of nowhere, leered at her for what felt like a minute, then gave a compliment about her army, and he made me feel rather uncomfortable. That was the first issue. I'm generally quite easygoing with all kinds of people, but it gave off a special kind of weird. Okay, well, here's the thing, man. How was she feeling? Because if she wasn't bothered, then don't be bothered. Right? Keep an eye on him, in case he does something weird, but, like, you saying it makes you feel uncomfortable is kind of white knighty. Just play the game, dude. Chill. You know? She can handle it. She's fine. You know? And if she can't handle it, you're standing right there. Nothing's going to happen. She's safe. Well, I was taking all of my units out of my carry case. Oh, no, sorry, I've already read that bit. The second issue was during the game. I had to deal with her boyfriend coaching her and making out with her every 5 minutes. God, this is... Dude, I'm with you on this. I'm with you on this. I've seen dudes do this in hobby stores, right? You have a girlfriend. Bully for you. Bully for you, right? You know, you get normal-looking blokes in there who have had dozens of girlfriends and dozens of partners, and then you get that one nerd who goes in, he's got a girlfriend, so he has to dry hump her the entire day just to mark his territory. Dude, stop. It's pathetic. Like, every other dude who's had a normal, shall we say, number of notches on the old bedpost is looking at you like you're a fucking weirdo. Or you're just some... I don't know, man. It's some weak-ass shit. Don't do that. Don't flex like that. Right? All you're doing is showing us that you never normally get laid. That's all you're doing. If you take your missus to a hobby store just to make out with her or just to show her off, all you're doing is showing the actual normal dudes in there that you never get your dick wet. Ever. Usually. It's this much of a rare occurrence that you have to show her off. Okay? A fisherman who catches many fish doesn't feel the need to show off the next fish he catches to his friends. He just... I caught another one. There you go. And you throw them back in the water. You know? That's just what you do. I love that Patrice O'Neal bit where he's like, yeah, you know, it's like fishing. Like, you know, you get your... If you get a really nice fish, like a really big fish, you know, you take a picture with it, you show it to your friends, and then you release it back in the water. That's just what you do, you know, you don't stick around. I love it. Anyway, the second issue was during the game. I had to deal with her boyfriend coaching her and making out with her every 5 minutes. His friend who was playing on the table next to us and other randos were all interrupting us and giving advice to her. The same randos and her boyfriend and his best friend. When I asked for clarifications, it was shockingly vague and or always in her favour. I had to keep from getting the store owner to give some unbiased advice. Examples of this including, but were not limited to, line of sight. I had a blade guard unit I moved behind cover, and she activated Overwatch, and the guys next to us argued that my blade guard was indeed visible, and they went to such lengths they got a measuring tape and rubbed it against the cover, and the very tip of the sword moved over ever so slightly, but still counted. That was the length of technicality I had to deal with during this game. Engagement ranges for bases. I had a jump pack intercessor fighting one unit, and my blade guard against another. The intercessors had a much better matchup than the blade guard, so magically the intercessors needed to have some bases physically touching, but the blade guard, who had almost a 2 cm gap, were fine. I asked if blade guard also applied to their rules, but they said they were fine, and frankly, I didn't want to argue with all of them over some plastic. Dude, there's nothing wrong with calling it out. I'm just saying, listen, if that rule is over here, there is no reason why that rule shouldn't also be over here. Right? Letting them get away with it is just... I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you let them get away with it, you're the hobby nightmare. You're your own hobby nightmare. Don't do this. You say, no, sorry. If your rule decision counts over there, we've done exactly the same situation on the opposite side of the table because it's in my favour this time, the rules have changed. No, we're doing it exactly the same way, or I'm picking up my models. Because you're cheating. Simple. Like, I want to play a fair game. By the way, I'd like to know what her response to this was. Part of me is thinking that she's cringing the entire time and all she wants to do is play some 40k. And all the her boyfriend's like dry humping her leg and all of his friends are looking down her top. You know, that kind of shit. And giving her this advice that maybe she hasn't even asked for. She just wants to play 40k. This is why I'm saying, dudes, don't do this shit. It's cringe. Little stuff like this, I have never had to deal with when playing with anyone else. Everyone is, you know, fuck it, we ball. But the second a female showed up, everybody becomes an encyclopedia for every rule that currently exists for our army. After the end of my second turn, I got so fed up that even though I was ahead on points, I just gave the match to her, since I had a family emergency. I shook her hand, then packed up my shit and left. The store owner asked me several times, and when I left it, if I was okay. And obviously I said, yeah, I'm fine. And I kid you not, as I was leaving, they all congratulated her on a good win. Oh my god. And the thing that annoys me is that I just want to play a game, move some plastic on a table, roll some dice and have a good laugh, and maybe make a friend. And now I'm worried that I can only play a game against other men, so I don't have to deal with this crap. After speaking to a friend of mine who also plays 40k, I found out that this isn't uncommon. So now I'm really annoyed, because I don't want to avoid playing against women, because it's not their fault for this, but I just don't want to deal with this either. Cheers. Okay, I too have seen this, but what I will say, Anon, is that I've seen far more women in the hobby who don't get this, who just play normally, you know. Most nerds in this hobby are terrified of women. Sorry, guys, but, like, you know who you are. You know I'm not lying, right? And so they don't give them any advice because they don't want to talk to them. That's just how they are. They just don't want to talk to them. They're like, oh, God, a woman, you know? So I come across far more of that than anything else. Far, far, far more. I come across it far more where it's like, you know, we don't even want to talk to this woman, let alone give her advice. But I have also come across sometimes women getting preferential treatment in tournaments and games and things. Yes, it does happen. It absolutely does happen. What I would say is just because you've heard that it might happen, like one of your friends has probably told you, oh yeah, I've seen that happen before, that doesn't mean it's common, because it's not. Alright, if there's one phase of life that I know about, it's the propensity of hobby nightmares to occur, right? I'm telling you now, this hobby nightmare is not as common as you think. It's more the opposite way around. Women can't find games and basically get ignored at the hobby store because, you know, they're women. They get looked at a lot, and they get the wrong kind of attention a lot from the weirdos in the store, but actually wanting advice and doing things like that, nobody wants to talk to them, right? That happens far more than them getting a ridiculous amount of attention and bias towards them. Do you know what I mean? So, give women a chance, man. Play some more. I swear to God, I promise you, the next woman you play will not be like this. And I bet you if you played this woman on a night where a boyfriend and all those weirdos are not there, it would be a nice, normal game of 40k and you'll have a good time with it. So don't give up on it. Play somebody else. If it becomes a pattern in that store, it may be time to look at going to another store, because that store clearly is full of fucking incels who can't figure out what to do when a woman is present, right? Simple as. I don't like using the term incels, but if you simp like this for somebody who you don't know, that's the kind of energy you're giving off, right? Just saying. Anyway, I love you a long time. I will speak to you tomorrow for some more 40k Advantage. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a good one. Bye now.